The thread.php script in this website is the longer script, and so I'm not going to type it all out, because if I did, then this movie would be horrifically long. So instead, I'm just going to walk you through what each part of the script does. To begin with, we start the session and use the forum.inc script that contains the common functions that we use throughout this website. Then it tests to see if the user is logged in. If they're not, then it fails them with serious argument set to true, which therefore will bounce the user all the way back to the entrance page. If, however, somehow the thread ID has not been specified, then the user is only bounced back to the main page, which lists all the threads that we saw in our last movie. If the thread has been specified, then we need to register it. We're going to set arbitrary figure post per page equals 10, and then we're going to set the post list offset to 1 if it hasn't been set yet. This works in a very similar way to the way it does on the main page, where we're keeping track of if there are more, for instance, more posts than can fit on the one page, then we're keeping track of which part of the entire thread we're viewing. We need to register that with our session object. Next, we need to make a database connection using the function defined in the forum.inc file, and then we're going to query our database using this rather formidable piece of SQL. It's actually quite simple. There's nothing really complicated about this, it's just a little long. It takes from 3 different tables and it selects the name of the thread, the body of the particular post that we're going to show, the date on which that was posted, the name of the user's email, how many posts the user has made to date, and the field in the database that shows whether or not the user wants their email shown. And we also need the unique ID of the post and the user. We're going to take it from these 3 tables, and the join is going to simply be that the thread ID in posts is the same as in threads, so we're getting the name of the thread for the specific post that we're calling, and also that the data from the user table, the correct data according to who made that post originally. The other criterion is that the thread is the thread that where as the user are interested in viewing, and we're going to order them by post date posted ascending so that the oldest post comes first and that the thread can be viewed in the intuitive way, which is the beginning first, so that as you go down the page you can read the conversation in context. We're going to limit the number of results to the number of posts per page, and we're going to start at the point at which we've arrived, if we've indeed have navigated from one set of posts to the next within this page. If anything goes wrong with that, we need to bounce the user back to the main page with a relevant error message. If no rows are returned by this query, then we can presume that somehow the post list offset variable has got mixed up, and that we're trying to call a post that doesn't exist. So we give an error message to that effect and bounce the user back to the main page, and then we need to pull out the results into a number of records with a while loop. And then this little condition here with the setup page in it. The reason we're doing this is that we need to set up the page using the name of the thread as the header for the page. So until we've actually pulled the first row using MySQL fetch associative array, we can't actually set up the page. Otherwise we just put it straight before the loop. But we're doing this within the loop so that we're able to have access to that data. But we only want to do it once. So we're going to check for this variable is setup variable, which has been defined as global within our include file, so that it will only execute on the first iteration of the while loop.